Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play SimCity on Sundays. So, good news is my friend finally released his claim on his city, and this episode is basically me working on building this place up to be able to help with the Space Center and everything else. Starting with, it's been needing water for a long time, and I can see why the water production isn't where it needs to be. So I kind of start reconfiguring everything. And one of the first things is I noticed that the city hall is like right here in the middle of where basically all the industry normally would be, at least where I would put the industry. So I'm moving city hall over here because it always gives it increases happiness for residential, so having it closer to residential is actually a good thing. Oh, and I decided to reconfigure that. That's why I kind of tore down those buildings, because I kind of like this look on the City Hall building, and I can kind of play around with that, and there we go. So I've got all the expansions for City Hall there, and a mayor's mansion. Ultimately, I think I ended up deciding not to put in a mayor's mansion, at least not for now. And I end up moving the sewage treatment facility and taking out some of the roads and just kind of reconfiguring this entire area a little bit. Expanding this water facility first of all, and then later on I end up having to add another pump, just because I'm trying to grow the city pretty quickly. And you can see that there's not a lot of residents right now. There's only like 300 residents, so there's going to be a lot of worker shortages initially, and control net shortages. I end up having to buy control net from the neighbors, at least initially, until I have a chance to build another academy to help with the local control net, and ultimately it'll help the regional control net as well. And here we go, putting in the futurized sewage system, and expanding residential as well, so that we can have more people move into town. We've got a university campus here. I'm gonna leave that where it is, but I end up taking out the elementary school on that side and ending up putting a community college in here instead. It's better to have the elementary schools in the middle of the residential neighborhoods, you know, just in general. So having the community college over here isn't such a bad thing. And whereas in the one city I was working on last week, I didn't have room to expand the community college. I did here, so I ended up putting it in that configuration and putting a little bit of commercial around it. Alrighty, now let's see, what is it asking? Oh yes, putting in some of the more modern incinerators and things. And again, we are going to be a little low on the control net at the moment, but that will be fixed over time. It just takes a little bit of time to kind of get it all going and everything. In the meantime, we have nuclear power and things, and ultimately I end up getting rid of that electronics headquarters because there's no electronics factories. There's no consumer electronics, there's no semiconductor, and ultimately this city, it doesn't have oil either. None of the four have oil, but this one has ore, so I end up doing ore mining and processing, because that's one of the things that OmegaCo needs. And then I'm going to import oil just like I do in one of the other cities. But first things first, I'm going to put some more streets in the middle of this. And there's the OmegaCo factory. Okay, so we need ore, but and ore processing, and there's a trade depot. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the trade depot, and I'm like, okay, let me clean up some of these roads and kind of reconfigure some things. I'm not terribly happy with the existing configuration, and I don't know if my friend Sergeant Cartman will watch this video or not, but yeah, I'm doing some reconfiguration of the roads here, because like this whole weirdness over here kind of bothered me. I like symmetry when it comes to things. So yeah, and I'm kind of de-zoning some of this as well and tearing some of this out. There's way too much commercial that's been plopped, and not enough industrial, actually no industrial at all, and not enough residential. I think, I don't know if there's a general formula or not, but I think you need like 1 commercial for every 10 residential. At least back in the old days when you had like you know, an actual little block, a little square or something that you would use. That, you know, you have one little square that's residential, and you know, so if you ended up with like 10 residential squares, you know, you can put in 1 commercial square and it would suffice. But this city ended up having almost as much commercial as it had residential, if not more, and it was like just way too much. Alright, so I'm importing oil, and that's going to go for the Mexico. And now I need to make some room for the refinery so that we can make fuel. So some of that oil is going for Mexico, and some of it's going to make fuel, and I'm going to also use this city to send fuel to the Space Center as well, ultimately. Just because it needs it. And the other city's not doing it fast enough, so. And then I realized, oh yeah, I need fuel storage at the trade depot if I'm going to have any of that fuel go out to the Space Center. So we'll get that going. Okay, so there's all the ore. So now we need to put in an ore processing or ore mining facility. So once again, get rid of some of the roads. And at least these were not like there's no residential or anything else here, so we're able to we're just, yeah, we're able to plunk down, get rid of some of the roads and plunk down things. And I'm putting in these futuristic kind of advanced ore drilling or ore mining processing things. So we've got that. And then ultimately I end up moving the Mexico factory because I want to be able to, it can also mine ore for itself. Oh yeah, and there goes the electronics headquarters, because, yeah. Really didn't need that. We do want the Mexico headquarters, and we want a metals headquarters. So we're doing those over here. Yeah, still not enough control net in town. There's some control net working for some of the sewage system, but for the trash system at the incinerators, it's not working yet. So I'm just kind of trying to upgrade things a little bit, and we're just going to have to raise some more control net, which means I'm gonna have to put in an academy, which always takes up a lot of room. So I'm like, okay, where am I gonna? Well, first I'm gonna put some of those in, those extra control net stations. But apparently we're not buying enough control net from the other cities yet. So there goes the new academy, and I'm just gonna put that whole area there is gonna become the academy now. Still not enough water, so we're gonna have to build some more water pumping. I'm kind of looking at here and trying to figure out, okay, so where can I put some roads in here? There we go. And connect that up. There, that works. And now we can put in another pumping facility. And I always get rid of the regular pumping and put in the filtration pumping. That helps filter out pollution, so it reduces the amount of water pollution we have. There we go. Now we're at max capacity on water. The sewage system is still struggling a little bit, but we will get that fixed eventually. So we need to expand the academy first and foremost. But you know, one thing at a time. Here I'm gonna do another road reconfiguration over here, without taking out the nuclear plant, because we kind of need the power. I may eventually put in a fusion reactor as well, but first things first. So first we bulldoze all this stuff. That really wasn't that whole avenue wasn't really that necessary, so. Redo the roads here and set things up so that we can put the academy expansion in. Alright, let's take a look here. Oh, there we go. There's one annex, there's a second annex, and now we need a snap point for the next annex. That means we need another road. So with that in mind, let's yeah, see, now it's not going to let me, because there's other intersections close by, so it's not going to let me extend the road. So I'm like, okay, fine, maybe I could extend that and do it that way. Like, fine. It's a little picky on the road placement, I've noticed. There we go. Now we should be able to put in the last annex. Yep, right there. So one academy, and I end up throwing in a park as well to kind of mitigate some of the negative effects of the nuclear power plant over there. So that really helps on the land value. Okay, and now I'm putting in a bus depot so that we can have more commuters between the cities and things. I don't think this town has rail, so since there's no rail, we have to kind of, the only regional transportation is going to be the bus. And the bus works, you know, within the city as well as between the cities. So that's a regional bus center. So I'm just kind of plunking all these bus stops throughout. And people can take the bus locally from the residential to the commercial and industrial districts to go to work, and then they can also take it to commute to the other cities for shopping and work as well. So one thing at a time as we kind of increase the access points and everything with the bus stops. Try and be somewhat logical with how I place them. Alrighty, so now people can get around town and to other towns a little bit more easily. I mean, obviously they could always commute with their own cars, but having the regional transportation here, see, this is again where I was struggling with this. And one of the things I didn't understand, and I had to actually look it up, was how the whole pipeline, OmegaCo pipeline worked. I didn't realize, like I thought you had to plop this thing down and then connect the pipe, and not do the pipe and then connect it, you know. So you'll see here, I've actually edited out a couple of things where I was like screwing with it, and then spent some time researching how all of this works with the OmegaCo. But I finally realized, or you know, once I looked it up, that you actually have to put the pipe down first. See, it's still not connecting. I'm right on top of the ore. I'm right by a road. Like, why are there no snap points? The snap points are with the pipeline. It's like so not intuitive. It really isn't. So you have to, yeah. You have to put in the extraction pipeline first. See, this is what I'm... Now you can see me doing this, and I'm like, okay, it's still not snapping. What am I doing wrong? Trying to figure out the right way of doing it. And here you can see I'm still struggling. It's like, okay, there's a pipe, there's a road, there's ore. What? Why is it not snapping? And it wasn't here until here I finally realized what I was doing wrong. there. So I put in, there we go. Now we finally have a snap point. Okay. Alright, so now Omegaco is able to extract its own ore, and actually the extraction pods can extract ore and oil if there was ore and oil, but there's only ore in this town, so. And you can see there's lots and lots of, like, not enough workers and things. Well, look, I've only doubled the population, or barely, you know, it's, you know, I went from like 300 something to 700 something, so we still definitely need to increase the population. So, with that in mind, I put in a mega tower, because, you know, why not? And then I try and connect, like this side, for some reason this side, the mega tower can't connect to the road, because it's too steep of an angle. Didn't look like it to me, but whatever. At least I can connect it this side, and then it by default connects another side. There's always 3 road access and 1 pedestrian access to the mega towers. And I will eventually build more mega towers here as well. So I ended up putting a sky bridge level on it, but I ended up building quite a few levels, and just I ended up going to cheetah speed and just kind of letting this build up just so that I can get the population I need to, because I need the population to have enough workers to work at like the academy so that we can increase the control net, which will solve a lot of the other problems, the sewage problems, the water problems, the trash problems, etc. Even the health problems, the education problems are all stemmed from not having enough population. Oh, here I decided to look around the region from the city view, and you can kind of see all the other cities there, and it looks kind of pretty, I think, in the region. And I'm sure you'll notice that this is a longer video, so if you're still watching, thank you, I appreciate it. Thumbs up to you for still watching. I hope that this is interesting, watching me just kind of really expand out a city very quickly. And this, obviously, I always speed up the footage for the SimCity videos, and this is about an hour and 15 minutes worth of footage. I edited out a couple of things here and there, and then just sped everything up, and it ended up with the 24-minute video that you're seeing now. And I could have cut it into 2 pieces, but to be perfectly honest, I kind of like, you know, not stopping in the middle of a construction thing. So like I decided I wanted to build out this city, and I wanted that to be all in one video, and I built it out as quickly as I possibly could. Okay, so one of the things here is I'm putting in a bunch of new parks. That's going to increase the land value, which is going to increase people's wealth, and that's going to increase happiness as well. And people will be able to start building more and things. And I think one of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to upgrade all the roads, which I didn't do this time, but I'll have to do it next time, so that we can increase building density, so that we can go from little houses to larger structures and things. I think right now they're going to eventually go from individual houses to apartment complexes and things. Like, they look like little condo townhouse kind of things initially. Oh yeah, so here I'm going to put in, putting in a mall level, and see how happy that makes everyone. It's like, yay, a mall! Alright, Academy is just chugging away there, and the Mega Tower is towering. And just slowly but surely, we're just kind of getting things kind of built out and stuff. Here I decided I'm going to move the fire station. I didn't like the placement of it, and I'm going to move it over there, and see how he had it all lined up in a long row. And here in this little quadrant, I can kind of put all the same things, but within a smaller area, more of a square area, rather than in a long line of everything. It's a little bit more consolidated. and allows me to open this area up, because one of the things I had been hoping to do is build an amusement park. I don't have room in any of the other cities to build an amusement park, but I'm like, ooh, I actually still have room here. I've built a lot of the things I wanted to build, but I do have the room, so I'm like, okay, why don't I build an amusement park? Because I've been, like, mayors in the other cities have been begging me to build an amusement park for a while now, so here we go. Thrill-Land Amusement Park. And then I kind of play around with all the different options, and at first I just kind of put things over here, and put the sign across the street, because apparently I can't put it on the same side. And I kind of stretch that out. But ultimately I end up wanting to put in a, yeah, here's all the concessions and toy shops and balloons and everything else. But I ultimately ended up wanting to put in a roller coaster, and I couldn't find room to do it. So you can see here I took out one of the roads, moved the smaller rides to one side, and then I finally had room to put in a roller coaster. So I'm like, okay, finally. Okay, so now I wanted to put in another park. Trying to figure out a good place for it. There's the amusement park again. And just kind of fixing up some of the road connections that I took out while I was trying to expand that. And now we're going to try and build some more on the tower. Just constantly expanding it, increasing it. Now you can see the population, we're almost at 4,000, so that's slowly but surely going to fix the problems with worker shortages. And once we get the worker shortages fixed, then we'll fix ControlNet and everything else, and all of those red and yellow warnings on the icons will slowly but surely go away. It's probably going to take another episode to kind of get everything exactly right in the city and get things built out so that it can really help the region in general. One of the things I don't do immediately is connected to the Space Center and send fuel there, but that's one of the next things I'm going to need to do is start sending fuel over to the Space Center. But I was just really focused on just kind of building the city out and really expanding things. And here you can see it's like, okay, so we've manufactured enough drones and stuff. Oh yeah, I know about wealth and land values, so like, nope, no thank you, I don't need that. We have a house of worship, we just need to, I don't even know where that is. But now we've got the Omega Co going. Alright, put in another apartment level. One of my goals was to get over 5,000 population, and I've done that now, so which I was happy about. And you can start seeing some bigger buildings starting to come in now, even though I haven't expanded the road capacity too much, but some higher density buildings are starting to plop in, so I just need to increase the road density and stuff. Things are getting better. You can see some of the red is going away now, but definitely needs more work. I think here I'm going to be wrapping this up really soon, but I've got the city a lot closer to what I really wanted, so I'm pretty happy with things. I hope that you, even though it's a long video, I hope you enjoyed watching it, and things, and we're getting close to where I'm going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. There, I just needed to expand the trash facility there a little bit. But things are getting better. Look, the reds are all gone now. But yeah, things are looking really good. I'm really happy with the progress. Until next week, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and until next week, take care. Bye-bye.